going off what Andrew said about you get hate from the general audience that doesn't necessarily know you, how would you describe yourself?
To them or to who? To the audience?
Everyone in general. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it has to do with how long. Like, for example, I'm asking him about the story. Okay, the unique story of this building next door, right? Mom, how he grew up down the street, how far, the bike. They don't want him to ride the bike because he goes the other way. October 30th, birthday, 40. Family, yesterday's exchange in text. I'm curious about this guy as a product, right? I'm curious about him as a human being. But he didn't become who he is today because of what I've consumed of him the last 5 years. I want to know what prompted this guy to be here. Unfortunately, in America, too many times our judgment is on who this person is. Chelsea Handler makes this video. Perfect example. Chelsea Handler makes this video calling out Adam, one of our guys. And she says, whoa, look at this guy, alpha. Trust me, you are definitely not an alpha. He gives me the SDE energy. And trust me, I can tell you for a fact, this guy on Alpha Motivation Zero, you're not alpha. This is coming from an alpha. You're a zero is what you are. So she calls him out and she talks about the fact that it's incredible to be childless. It's phenomenal to wake up and not have any kids, have sex with anybody you want, drink as much alcohol. All this shit she says. Video goes viral, 50 million views on Twitter, right? Whatever the number is. Okay, so the average girl is gonna watch that and say what? That's right, screw that STE. I also wanna drink and be able to be with any man. I don't wanna have any kids. Does anybody even wanna have this kind of responsibility in life? I wanna be free because we're equal as men. Screw them, I don't need them. Great. Then you go read her memoir where she tells a story about when she was 9 years old, at the age of 9, her brother, she describes, who was 22, I think they have 6 kids total. Mom and dad, I think one was a car salesman. It was a good family, 6 kids. The older brother, 22, she calls him my second father, my first boyfriend. I was in love with him in a way of loving my older brother, but he was my world. He's going on a mountain hiking trip. His last words to her was, cannot wait to see you when I get back. The guy dies climbing a mountain while she's 9 years old. He never comes back. Then when he dies, she says, my mom and dad lost it. The man I needed next was my dad. My dad, I didn't have my dad anymore because he lost his mind. I don't blame him. He says, in that moment, I realized the pain of losing someone I love. And secondly, I saw my dad, the pain he went through of losing his child. Of course I want to have a hard time with commitment and wanting to have kids and get married. Do you blame her? When you read this story, then you're like, okay, Chelsea, I understand. It's easy to troll her, and it's easy for her to troll other men, but we don't know that story. So,
you know, in this world, there are but few people that when you hear them talk, you feel like, this guy is really smart. This guy actually knows what he is talking about. You know, I watch a lot of podcasts, and it's one of my favorite thing to do. I follow a lot of people. I watch them like a lot. And most of the times, what they will say wouldn't really resonate with me. I'll be like, yeah, okay, it's your opinion. Good and fine. Have it your way. But Patrick Bet-David is someone I think that really understands situations, right? And when he does these interviews or podcasts, he really try to understand the whole story. You know, the point he made about Chelsea Handler, I have never heard anyone make that. When Chelsea Handler made a video, I think I also commented on the video, she loves her life the way it is, which I respect. People should live the way they want. As long as they're not hurting each other, for me, it's good and fine. If they want to do whatever they want to do, it's up to them. If they want to be single, well, good and fine. If they don't want to have children for their own personal reasons, have it your way. When she said that she loves the way she does things, a lot of conservatives commenters or a lot of conservative content creators like Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, I think Candy Owens, came out at her and they all bash at her. They all call her all sorts of names. Matt Walsh went as far as saying that she is not a royal model for young girls and people should not take her seriously. According to Matt Walsh, we have one purpose which is like very important, that is procreating. That it is a necessity for all of us to procreate. And if someone doesn't want to do that, then that person isn't really serving the purpose for being on earth, which I totally disagree. People choose differently. If people want to have kids, they should. If they don't want to have kids, it's okay with me. It's as long as it's good for them, then I have no problem with that. Then you now have Patrick really understanding why Chelsea Handler might not want to have children. Why Chelsea Handler might be behaving the way she is behaving. And why Chelsea Handler might think that having children is a lot of responsibility. Patrick understands the whole story and he puts everything to context. That is what we call a wise person. That is what we call a person who knows what they are saying.